be aware of the girlfriend trap. You might ask, what do you mean with this? I mean that once you achieve the goal, or the goal that most men want to achieve is having a girlfriend, having a woman, having a woman for their life, what happens to them? They get complacent, right? They get lazy. They lose the discipline. They start eating junk food. They aren't as focused on self-improvement or business as before, right? Before they met the girl, or before, they attracted her or went in a relationship, they were going up, right? They were working. They were going to the gym, fucking like 2 times a day, eating completely clean, always going up, achieving that goal, striving, right? Focusing on business. But then, they attract women. A girl actually shows interest. And then what happens, right? He kind of sacrifices his gym a little bit, sacrifices his business a little bit to see that woman, to see his girlfriend or whatever. And then once he decides to get into the relationship, right? Once he says, yeah, okay, now it's time, we are girlfriend, man and woman now, it more goes down, mostly, right? Because especially if you're like, first few relationships, what you do is basically like sometimes just fucking lay in bed all day, order junk food, watch Netflix and do nothing, right? Especially if you've never like had a good relationship or had like love, right? Let me tell you a little story that in my first, let me tell you, serious relationship, that was exactly what happened. I don't want to toot my nose, but I was the guy. I was the one guy. I was the only guy in fucking Switzerland that fully focused on self-improvement as much as I did, bro. I was the number one guy. I focused on business. I made a lot of money. And I attracted some women, right? And I decided I wanted this girl. And then, for the first few weeks, it didn't go as fast down, right? But then after a few months, it always went more down. I went more down. The last time I fucking went to the gym was fucking 6 months ago. And then what happens? I get more sad. I get more depressed. I have more negative thoughts, right? I'm thinking what if she's cheating on me, or what if she's texting other men? Because I lose that confidence, that fucking James Bond confidence that attracted that woman, right? And what happens with attraction? What happens if you before were the fucking Giga Chad guy, right? Fully focused, 6-pack abs, everything, and then turns into this lazy bum? What do you think happens with attraction? Do you think it goes up, or do you think it goes down? Of course it goes down, right? Before you went into the relationship, or before you went together, or are together, you were this mysterious James Bond rich guy that is completely focused on his goals and striving on building something big. And then once you have the woman, once you achieve the goal, you lost it. That woman is gonna think, no, what happened to him? I'm not really attracted to him. This guy looks better. This guy is more focused on his goals. And of course, I'm not saying that you shouldn't spend time with your girl. Do not mistake me. Do not mistake you. Of course, you can spend hours chilling in bed if 90% of your rest of your week is fully focused. The big mistake is completely losing that. Completely losing on self-improvement and only focusing on a relationship. Because once you focus on a relationship, once your main goal is just a relationship, that's when you lose the rest, right? If you understand what I mean. And to get back to the point, what happens with attraction, right? It's not only that the girl loses attraction and she might tell you, look, I like a little bit of flabby on your stomach. I like when you eat ice cream with me. But the guy before the relationship, the guy you was, would have never touched the ice cream. And that's what she wants to hear. She wants to hear you say no. But of course he might tell you, yeah, I love when you eat garbage with me. Because that's just how it feels in the moment. But in the long term, the woman is not attracted to you. And it's not just about you. You're just gonna feel like shit as well, right? You know you were that guy on the left. You know you were this fucking guy. You know you were that guy. And now you're this fucking bum, eating fucking garbage, drinking fucking Coke. Maybe even addicted now to something. Addicted to shorts. Before you weren't addicted to shorts, and you are. That's how quickly it can change, right? And then of course the worst thing that can happen is heartbreak. And heartbreak not because she cheated, not because you cheated, not because it just didn't work out, but she lost the attraction that she had to you, right? She lost the attraction. It's gone. So she literally tells you she doesn't love you anymore, or finds you ugly or disgusting. Maybe she's so honest to you that she tells you that you're fucking ugly, right? Imagine that. And you don't want that, right? That's why you need to be beware of the girlfriend trap, or the danger of a girlfriend. I'm not saying this like as a negative, like that women are bad. No, women are beautiful creatures, right? But it can be so dangerous if you're not beware of what happens if you truly focus on only the relationship and lose all the rest. Because you might think that you're doing, you know, your woman a favor, being all nice to her and, you know, spending 24/7 with her and eating the junk food and eating the garbage. But the problem is she's maybe also noticing that maybe she gained a little bit more weight, she had more pimple on her face, you know. It's a fucking death loop, man. It's a fucking death loop, you know. You get more ugly, she gets more ugly, she's pissed that she's getting more ugly, but she finds you more ugly. It's disgusting, bro. That's why you need to be beware, or need to be aware of the girlfriend trap, man. Because if you're not, you're maybe gonna get your heart broken. That was just a quick little video. Check the Mindset Bootcamp. I'll see you in the next one.